Relationship advice. My 31 male fiancée, 28 female, slept with someone else and tries to explain it's not the same, because the guy is famous and she couldn't pass up on the opportunity. I won't say the name of the guy she slept with, but he is a well-known, white, current NFL player who is very married. My fiancée went to a different city for a family event that I couldn't attend because of work. She stayed at a hotel because the parents' house was already full. On the second night, we were texting as usual. She told me she's going to dinner, then stopped answering. I didn't think much of it, figured she ate and went to bed since the flight back was early next morning. She called me from the airport. I picked her up when she landed here, all good. Nothing seemed off. A couple of days later, she said there's something she needed to come clean about. Then proceeded to explain how she met this dude at the hotel and she spent the night in his room, certainly not playing Uno. She was downright convinced that I won't be mad because, it's not like I slept with a random dude off the street, it's his name. I'm just numb, disgusted, weirded out by her thought process. She's now upset with me for making it a big deal, since it's not like it'll ever happen again. Her reasoning is, if Megan Fox came onto me, would I turn down the opportunity? But in my opinion, it doesn't matter who it was, I think she cheated, period. Be it a famous person or a homeless rando. Am I being overly dramatic here? Thanks in advance. Edit, there are pictures. She didn't lie about who the guy she slept with was. Now for the top advice. I'd dump her immediately. Not only is she a cheater, but she's enough of a scumbag to try and make you feel crazy for being upset. You marry her, and I guarantee it won't be the last time. Cut your losses, dude. Why is she not your ex-fiancée? Are you hanging on to her to see what her excuse will be for her next affair? Kick her to the curb immediately. Yeah, no, cheating with famous people is still cheating. If she was so certain you would be okay with it, why not tell you beforehand, or immediately after? Why did it take a few days to come clean if she thought there was nothing to be upset about? She's lying, and trying to manipulate you into being okay with it. Of course she cheated. No, it's not better that she screwed him because he's famous. She wanted to be able to brag about bagging someone famous once, more than she wanted to be faithful to you. What the hell is wrong with her? Guess she'll have a great story about the time she chose to blow up her engagement because she wanted to bet a celebrity. Gross. If she thought you'd be okay with it, she would have checked in with you beforehand, not confessed days later. There are a small minority of couples who have celebrity hall passes, and a much smaller minority within that group of people who wouldn't still be furious if their partner actually went through with it. Most just like the concept, knowing it'll never ever happen. You aren't one of those people, and she's out of her mind to expect you to be. Tell her she's free to go bang one of those homeless randos if she wants, because she's no longer your problem. Will it ever happen with the guy again? Most likely not. What she is not understanding is that her respect for you and your relationship was not good enough to overcome her desire to pass up the chance to sleep with this guy. Your choice on what to do here. But if you need to question something about her, I'd question the level of respect she has for you and your relationship. And I'd want to know what would happen if presented with the same situation again. Best of luck. Now for the next story. I'm 28 male, trying to get over my girlfriend, 24 female, cheating on me, and it's hard. I've been with my girlfriend for about a year and a half now. We live together, and is the love of my life. This is the woman that I will someday marry. At least I thought she was. Right before quarantine, she went to Vegas with her girlfriends. When she gets back, she has a breakdown. She is in tears and tells me she cheated on me. She says things moved so fast and didn't mean for it to happen and she was sorry. She said he was quite aggressive and it just happened. I was in shock. I was angry, sad and confused all at once. We talked about it over the next few days. She said she felt awful and apologized for making such a big mistake and potentially throwing away our future. Despite this, I still wanted to make it work. I was hurt, but I love her so much that I'm willing to forgive and continue our lives together. That is until I saw her phone. I saw a text conversation with her girlfriend talking about her experience in Vegas and it made me want to throw up. How she described it to me wasn't how it happened. She went into detail. She went up to his room to do coke, and they had intercourse. She described how amazing it was and how much fun it was, and how she's glad she did it. She wanted to get one crazy experience out of the way before she got serious with me. She showed her friend the guy's Instagram. And stupid me, I went and had a look on my girlfriend's account, and he keeps sending D-pics and messaging her. She did tell him to leave her alone. He said he would if she sent him a nude, and she did. She lied. She lied about how it went down. I'm stuck with her in our apartment and I just hate looking at her right now. I'm hurt and angry. I want to confront her, I don't know what to do. She was the most perfect and beautiful woman, now I just see a person that hurt me and lied. Do I confront her about my findings? Do I even want to continue on? I don't know anymore. I cry every day in the bathroom and she has no idea. I love her, I hate her, and I can't even leave the house. Now for the advice. I know you're still in contact with the guy you willingly banged in Vegas. We're through. You have to take it easy with her, and you also can cheat on her since you are not ready to leave her alone. Contact me if you want to do that to clear your mind and hurt her back, okay? She doesn't regret it. That's all you need to know. Leave her. Sorry about it, my man. That's why a lot of people don't forgive cheaters and bail right away. It was a positive experience in her mind, an experience she doesn't regret. She didn't lie about him being aggressive, he wasn't she like that. Then she shared it with all the friend, making sure that all her girlfriends know about it. No shame at all, she was proud and want to show it. If she went to you crying, confessing and saying nebulous thing like he was aggressive, chances are that you would forgive her. It was calculated and she know you well. She got rid of her guilt. If you stay amid the betrayal, lie and lack of giving a damn about you, how could she respect you and change? How could she just not be tempted to do it again? Anyway, it's your choice. She is far from perfect but she may be beautiful, she want one last gig outs before getting serious, it was premeditated. Maybe not the specific dude or the place, but it was set up in motion before it moved too quickly for her. Eject this one as fast as you can. For the next girl, don't make her pay the price of the sin of your hoeing girlfriend. This one seems clear-cut enough, if you don't respect yourself, nobody will do it for you. Stand up for what is right and do what is right. As for the rest, get checked up for STD and hit the gym. This stuff destroy human souls, the pain you feel is normal and show you have heart. It will hurt for a while, but the sooner you rip the band-aid off, the sooner you may heal. She cheats, but it doesn't mean the next one will. Don't let this crap change you, take the pain and heal, but don't let it make you jealous or insecure with other people. The only thing we can control in regard to cheating, is if we stay or go once we know. It should pretty much always be you should go, unless really rare and specific circumstances which do not apply to you right now. Don't confront her, don't ask for answer, lay it down in a calm way. You thought you could go through but unfortunately you can't. That's all she needs to know. She doesn't need to know you cry, you are devastated and broken. She is not trustable to be shared with your inner feeling. Best of luck. To grow and know what we truly want in life requires a part of us to die. I'm sorry you must experience this, but right now you must embrace your suffering. To deny it will only cause more pain. You are suffering because a major boundary has been crossed by you. It sounds like you cannot recover and forgive her. Remember, the one chooses us too. She didn't, so you can be disappointed she wasn't the one. But don't mourn and grieve that she was the one. You must have your self-respect. If you feel you need to walk away, do so. You don't need to make a big deal of it. If it's your place, tell her to leave. If it's hers, go somewhere. Do not stay with her. Next story. I kind of slept with an old friend after my husband and I had a fight. Please help. The fight itself is really complicated, but it's kind of necessary to explain here. I swear I would have never cheated on my husband in any way under ordinary circumstances. Years before my husband and I, 32 male and 25 female, together for 2 years, got married, I was in an extremely toxic and abusive relationship with an older man. I was about 16, and I had a baby. I wasn't able to keep the baby, Larry, when I left that relationship, and he went to stay with my ex's sister. But very recently, the sister contacted me and offered to give me the kid, who's about 8 years old now. I wanted to take him, but my husband is very against the idea because the relationship was so traumatic for me that he doesn't think I could care for Larry properly with all that baggage. He may have a point, because I've struggled with taking care of our own infant, but we had a huge fight and he went to stay with his relatives. I had to get out of the house, and I went to stay with an old friend, 43 male. We didn't end up sleeping together, exactly, but the first night I was there, I got wasted and definitely crossed some boundaries, and the second, we engaged in something vaguely S&M I'd rather not disclose. It wasn't intercourse, and I didn't consider it cheating at the time, but apparently my friend took pictures and sent them to my husband. My husband is furious. He's said he won't leave me, but there's a wound in our relationship I don't know how to fix. Does anyone have advice on how to move on from this and heal? Just because there wasn't intercourse doesn't mean it wasn't cheating. I think you need to apologize profusely to your husband and start working on earning his trust back. I don't know what that would look like for you. You'd have to figure that out for yourself. It sounds like you have a lot of trauma and baggage and you didn't mention any kind of therapy, so I really suggest you start there, with individual therapy for yourself and couples counseling for your marriage. 1. That man is not your friend. Sending pics to your husband was an act of sabotage, and you need to break off contact with him. This is a no-brainer. The fact that you didn't know he was taking pictures of you is a deal-breaker in and of itself. 2. Please do not consider taking custody of your 8-year-old unless you are committed to caring for him in the long term. He needs stability and not to have his sense of family and safety disrupted. 3. Get into therapy as soon as is humanly possible. First step is to admit that you did in fact cheat. These next steps are if you actually want to stay in the marriage. Couples therapy is essential. You do anything your husband asks of you to build trust back up. This includes no longer contacting/blocking all forms of communication with this friend of yours. He shouldn't have to ask you to do that. That should be an offer from you. It is on you to do bulk of the work to earn his trust back. All that aside, definitely some individual counseling for you as well. What was the thought process that led to you engaging in intimacy with a third party while in a huge relationship blowout fight about your child from an abusive relationship? Well, life's complicated and confusing right now, so it's a great time to add more drama and weirdness to it? Also, there's a weird use of language around someone giving you your own child that you placed for adoption, as if it were a possession? No offense, but something in your decision-making process is deeply broken and off-center in your normal meter. You need to repair yourself, heal from the trauma, find boundaries, and explore your coping mechanisms. Actual stuff with friends, alcohol, and storming out of the house are not great coping mechanisms. That's escapism. It works approximately 0% of the time, as you're finding out. I think to heal this you need to present your husband with the acknowledgement that you understand what was broken and how. That you understand how you messed up and why. And a plan to get yourself back on track and stop using exceptionally wrong-headed coping mechanisms to deal with life's difficulties. Now for the last story. My 20 female friend, 20 female, tried to hook up with my boyfriend, 22 male, a few weeks ago, and he didn't tell me about it. A friend of mine tried to hook up with my boyfriend. He turned her down, but I'm sussed out by the fact that he didn't tell me. I only found out from my boyfriend's friend who was there when it happened. He thought that my boyfriend already told me about it, since it was her who hit on him, and he turned her down and there was no reason to hide it. I confronted my boyfriend about it later, and he said he didn't want to ruin our friendship, and that he told her if she doesn't stop being weird, he'll tell me. He says he wanted to give her a shot at saving the friendship. I already decided that I'm done being friends with her because I don't want friends that would do something like that. Besides, I've always thought she had a thing for him anyway. She thinks that just because they met first, that means she's entitled to him or something. I don't need that kind of BS in my life, so if he had told me, I would have cut her off immediately, which is what I did when I found out. The problem for me right now is that, it's weird that he didn't tell me about it. I understand that it must have been an awkward spot for him, but you'd think he'd want to tell me immediately to avoid a misunderstanding. Besides, it's weird that he cares more about potentially saving my friendship with her than he does making sure he doesn't come off as a cheater. My friends think he hid it from me because he was interested, but I don't think he's that kind of guy. Granted, we've only been dating for 4 months and I still don't know him that well, so anything is possible. What do you guys think? Is it a red flag that he didn't tell me? Now for the advice. Sit down and talk to him about it. You get where he was coming from. He wanted to avoid you hurting or avoid drama with friends, but that it isn't fair to you to take away your ability to decide whether you're okay staying her friend or not. When he doesn't tell you this stuff, he's ripping that decision away from you and making that decision for you. This isn't what partners do. It means one person gets to control the other by taking away their choices. To be a good boyfriend to you means telling you the truth, not hiding stuff from you, and letting you make your own choices. Keeping you ignorant and making your decisions for you is treating you like a child, not like a partner. I agree so much. I wrote a similar comment to another reply, and I don't understand why more people can't see this or tell OP that he doesn't have to tell her everything that happens to him. Technically true, but this is, was, her friend, someone she's presumably around often. She should get to make an informed decision about who she spends her time with. I don't think this is relationship breaking necessarily, but it definitely warrants a chat about how to handle things in the future. Besides, it's weird that he cares more about potentially saving my friendship with her than he does making sure he doesn't come off as a cheater. It's actually not at all weird that someone who isn't a cheater isn't concerned about coming off as a cheater. If you aren't at least aware of what others might perceive your actions as, you are going to have a lot of trouble in life. I love my SO, and so I try to be aware of what he will perceive my actions as. I would not want my SO to think I have a thing for his friend because I never told him about a perceivably intimate instance that was shared with said friend. Honestly, I kind of understand his point of view. He probably thinks this is your good friend and he probably doesn't want to cause an issue between your friendship. Plus, he turned her down. I've had a similar issue happen to me. One of my good friends, back then, her husband hit on me. The first time it happened, I thought it was because he had too much to drink. He was having wine. So, I didn't say anything because I don't want to cause issues within their marriage. Then the second time, he was definitely not drinking. And he actually chatted me up. This was before texting lol, online on a chat, and this was how I got proof that he was hitting on me. I told him that, hey, not cool, don't make jokes like that. And asked him if he's had drinks before. He declined all those. Then he went on to tell me about how lacking their intimate life was, etc. Then I told her about it. She did pull back from her friendship with me because she wanted to work things out with her husband. But the point of that story is, I really didn't want to be the cause of their marriage breakup. And part of me also was afraid that she would shoot the messenger, so to say. I, fortunately, did keep the evidence/receipts, so she believed me. Those reasons were why I restrained myself from telling her, although we were at that time really good friends. So for me, I can totally see that it is reasonable that he didn't tell you immediately. He didn't want drama. Maybe he's super chill and non-confrontational generally. The more negative assumption is he thought that you would not believe him over your friend, because I've heard about that type of thing happening. I'd suggest just keep dating him, keep learning more about him, and if you don't want the same thing repeating, just assure him that telling you about this type of thing is okay, and that you would listen to him. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day, everyone.